Hi, my name is Ttk Jinadu. I'm back again with another Telling It Just the Way It Is chat series. So guys, stay tuned. So guys, grab a cup of maybe coffee, tea. You might not need coffee or tea. It's a bit hot in the UK. Anyway, whatever part of the world you are, just grab a drink. Cold drink, crepes, popcorn, snack, whatever you fancy, because you might need to nimble on this one. So guys, stay tuned. Okay guys, if you're joining me or you're watching me for the very first time, you're welcome. You're welcome. Please do not hesitate to click that subscribe button. I think it's here somewhere. Click that red button. Click it. It will not do you anyhow. Please click it. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back. Keep coming. I will never ever disappoint you. Okay guys, let's go. Okay guys, just sit back and enjoy. Sit back, enjoy, and listen to more. Okay, so everybody is aware. I won't assume everybody, but most people, Africans, especially Nigerians, are aware of the Busola Timi Dakolo and Pastor Abiodun Fatoyinbo's case. I'm going to take this case or look at this case at a different for those who don't know what this is all about. A lady came out publicly to reveal that some years ago, while she was a teenager, she's now married. This lady called Busola is now married. A Nigerian pastor called Pastor Abiodun Fatoyinbo raped her. And that is what all this is all about. And there's been so many reactions on social media, and I got quite a number of DM, which I feel very honored to have received. Like some people want my opinion, and I am not going to be judgmental. I'm just gonna share my opinion based on people's reaction, if you understand what I mean, and what I personally expected from us. This particular case has a lot of lesson in it and has to do with women. This issue of rape, men manipulation, men oppression over women is another subject I care about so deeply and passionately. And when I got those DM, I thought deeply about it, and I knew, yes, I will have to do a video. I will say something. I'm going to express my opinion, and which is exactly what I'm doing today. And like I said earlier, I'm going to take it from a different angle. I move away from talking about celebrities on my channel, because I don't want it to be about them. I want my channel to be about how I can impact people positively, how we can engage, how I can also learn from you. I don't want it to be about celebrities. So if you notice, I try and move away from pastors, celebrities, which you could also learn from if you choose to go with that part. But sometimes I feel, if you're an upcoming YouTuber, I feel most times when you start with those celebrities or pastors, it's take away from you, and I find people watch you just because of them, and I don't want it. I don't mind if 5 people or 10 people watches me and they're just coming to listen to me. I don't want it to be about them, so I move away from them. But on this particular issue, I thought deeply about it. I do have a blog, as you know, and if you don't know, I'm letting you know, that takes care of that. Like, I feature politics, gossip, entertainment, and all that on my blog. So I don't want my YouTube channel to be about that. Nah. So that blog is about them. I don't want it to be about me. But this I think is an exception, and it's an exception because of people's reaction. What is expected of us as Nigerians? What is expected of us as women? Women power, one love, women support. I would like to say that Pastor Abiodun Fatoyinbo has a right, every right, to defend himself if they are lies. if, for example, I'm not saying, hypothesis, if Busola Dakolo lied against him, he has every right, as every individual, every human being on earth, to defend those lies. Just as Busola too have every human right to express herself and to speak her truth. I think I should emphasize that until he is proven guilty. I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to talk about this subject for two reasons. First, Timi Dakolo. The great Timi Dakolo. I'll start by saying Timi Dakolo is not just a man, but a real man. There's a difference between being a man and a real man. He is a real man. A man that values your opinion, a man that supports you in every way, a man that actively seeks justice in your favor, irregardless of what people out there might think or do or say, is a great man. I ponder on the Busola and Pastor Abiodun Fatoyinbo's case so deeply. I pondered on it so deeply, and I can't help but to give kudos or credit to this guy, Busola's husband, called Timi Dakolo. In a society like Nigeria, I will give him a lot of credit. Well done, man. Well done. He's a great man. Okay, so you know why? How many Nigerian men or African men would allow their wife to come out openly and reveal to the public that she was a rape victim? Not only was she a rape victim, not only that she is a rape victim, she gave explicit details of how it happened, and that she did to the whole wide world. How many men, African men, will support that? In a country like Nigeria, in a country where we shame such things, we call out women, shame women, I give Timi Dakolo kudos, a lot of kudos. Most men will first think about what people will say, how they will see or relate to his wife after that shocking revelation to the whole wide world. The shame, the disgrace, the humiliation will now take over or will become priority over what the victim, Busola, had felt over the years. The mental torture, the trauma, the emotional distress. How the man feels will take priority over that. Those things she had suppressed over the years will become seconds to what is supposed to be priority. But Timi made the way she felt, and that is love, made that priority over what people will say, over what people will think about their friends. What would my friends say? What would the church members say? How would they see my wife after all this? How would they see me? And if they belong to some kind of men's club, group, men of substance, what would they say? And in every group or every society or every family, the judgmental people, what would some particular say or think of my life? What would my sister, my friend, my mother, my father, that is Busola's mother-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, what would they say? How would they see my wife after this? Is this something that we use against her? All those things he will put into consideration, and most African men will stop her. Again, Timi, kudos, well done. Well done from me. Well done. You're a man, a real man, and a great man at that. This guy actively went out and seek justice, even when we did not know who the whole thing is all about, for others. Timi Dakolo, I salute you. I hail you. He is a man. You know, I analyze this thing in my head and I can't help but to give this man credit. This man have been speaking up against this shameful act before his wife finally came out. Some people might think I'm giving Timi too much credit, but no. Like I said earlier, I've pondered so much on this situation. And as a partner to Busola, most African men will not allow her to do what she did. I mean, speak up like that. They will not. They will suppress it because they're thinking of the shame, the stigma. They will not. A man that listens to your opinion, not necessarily agree with it, but listens to you, supports you, actively seek justice on your behalf, irregardless of what people will do or what people will say in a country or in a society, like society Nigeria, that will stigmatize anything, shame everything, if not everything that has to do with women. He is a great man. I don't care what anybody says. Seriously, I do not care what anybody says. For him, for Timi to damn the consequences and stand behind his wife, he is the it man. The it man. It man. It is not an easy decision. It is not easy. Like I said, I thought about this thoroughly. It is not an easy decision. Again, well done. I so much appreciate a man like Timi. Though I do have my reservations. I have my reservations, and I stand by every rape victim. If Busola was truly raped, I stand by Busola. I stand by Busola. And I'm not saying she's lying, and I'm not saying the pastor is lying. I'm trying to look at this situation from both sides, if you understand what I mean. Like I said, I have my reservations. I am in support of women who speak up. Busola coming out to speak out about her ordeal is the right thing to do. It does not matter how long it happened. Before you judge or condemn any woman, you have to first put yourself in their shoes. And even if you were once a victim, the way we deal with issues are different. We are not the same. We're two different people. It does not matter, because I keep saying these comments like, why is she just coming out now? Sometimes one has to be physically, emotionally, and psychologically ready. If she's not ready, she is not ready. And I saw somewhere, somebody said, if not because somebody threatened her that they're going to do the DNA of her children, they were trying to like twist the whole story, make Busola look like she's the bad one, or look like she's some kind of a prostitute, she will not come out. Do you know that situation, something forces you to do something that maybe you've made up your mind long time that you will never do? It's something that will force you, that will make you do it. For example, you know, women that divorce their husband sometimes have vowed to themselves, especially the day of their marriage, that they will never leave this man. Something somewhere forced them to like file for divorce. So it's something that will make you act the way you never thought you would react or act. So I think people should put that into consideration, because when people are just condemning, judging, and this is why most rape victims don't want to come out. You scare them off with all this, your comments. She's enjoying it. She looks like she's this. How come at 17, at 18, she couldn't scream? If you analyze what she said, and if you put yourself in that position, because for me at 17, 18, I was very timid. I was very shy. And then you look, somebody you look up to. In fact, you look for your voice, you won't find it. The shock. And in a country where you're not supposed to condemn your pastor, speak up. And it depends on the relationship you have with your mom, with your parents. This girl did emphasize, Busola emphasized the fact that she is not close to her dad. Her dad was never around. You know, like you love your mom, you love your parents, but you might not be free. Most people came out or grew up from a home where they can't really communicate with their parents, especially if you're from a polygamous family. Coming from a polygamous family, if you've seen somebody from a polygamous family, they run their race on their own. Like dioriem, especially ile ologun. If you're coming from a family where there's battle, there's war, onikaluku dioriem. All those children are thinking about is how to survive. The kind of parental motherly love experience is different. I've met a girl that told me her mom or her dad has never ever hugged her till date. And it's not like they don't love her. They have a funny way of showing it. Some don't sit down and communicate like that. So please think very well before you condemn or you judge. People are different. People are very, very different. So I commend Bukola Dakolo for her bravery and her boldness for speaking out publicly, even though it would be wrong for me to just give Timi Dakolo all the credit and not Busola. She is the victim here. You know, when people talk like this, as in why it took so long, it has. For me, the effect it has is like you're trying to silence the victim without you knowing it. It might not be your intention. Rape has so many effects. It has so many effects. Negative effects, like mental torture, emotional distress, some form of trauma. It's not as easy as the way people see it, and what you expect is not what usually happens. We are all different. It varies. Our reactions to things differs. And I don't think there's a time limit on when you should speak up or not speak up. It's always better if they can speak up at the time. But remember, at that time, I mean, people are not as open-minded. People like they are today. And there was no social media to expose all these things. Many things could have gone wrong if she had spoken up on second thought. And that's my opinion. And I mean, considering the way Nigeria was then, it's a man's word. It's a man's word, and it still is. But things are getting a little bit better, if you know what I mean. Aside the immediate physical effects like the bruising, the bleeding, the soreness, dislocated bones, difficulty walking, sexually transmitted infections, there are other negative or effects raping has on the mental and emotional effects, such as post-traumatic stress disorder, which includes flashback, nightmares, regular crying, sudden sadness, loss of interest in activities or in hobbies, or even in your studies or work, depression, unworthiness. You begin to feel unworthy. Weight gain, weight loss, it depends on the individual. I mean, the negative effects goes on, and it could last a lifetime. It depends on every individual, and it varies on how every individual manages this too. Also varies. And these are the causes and the effects rape has on the victim. Rape has on the victim. So why silence a victim when she comes out? If she comes out, if she was raped 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and she decided to come out, encourage and support. Women, support one another. Support, don't condemn and begin to question why she's just coming out now. Seriously. Because there are many more that wanted to come out and are still contemplating, should I not, should I? Would this make me feel better? And maybe they've been raped longer than Busola. You're not, what you're doing, if you're condemning openly, is passing a negative effect. You're not in any way supporting or helping. Help them. Look at all the Bill Cosby's victims coming out. Those Bill Cosby's victim, most of them the incident happened like 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Some of them are grandmas that came out to talk about Bill Cosby. So please encourage, support. It's very, very important. We know the effects these things has on every individual, and it depends on individual, but it could be a very severe effect. It could have a very severe effect. Most times rape victims find it difficult to trust anyone. They become fearful, they become so disorientated, vulnerable. They're like constantly in numbness meaning like they find it difficult to express themselves, to communicate. They're in distress. They don't trust anybody, and there's this self-guilt and self-blame that they carry for a very long time, like maybe they allowed it to happen. This self-guilt and you know, the more you people leave such comments like you had a crush on him, you want it, you blah blah, you blah blah. Yeah, if you want it and you have a crush on him, there's nothing wrong, but that intimate thing that transpired between a man and woman should be consensual. So crush or no crush, admire him or no admire him, should not be the bone of contention here. Should not even be what we're discussing. The fact that what transpired between both of them, that is if it truly happened, is not consensual, is rape, and it's a crime. That's all I'm after. Stop looking for excuses. Stop silencing others. Stop silencing others. Stop shutting up others, because that's what you're doing by leaving all these comments and voicing out an insensitive opinion. I'm sorry, and this is my own personal opinion. Making the decision or taking the decision to speak out or to speak to someone is also a form of therapy, and I think that should be encouraged. You've started a step to healing by talking to someone, not by bottling everything inside. That could kill. That could, like, when I mean kill, you're living but basically dead. You know what I mean? Because you've lost interest in everything. That's the effect it has. Okay, the second reason, Nigeria, oh my country, Nigeria. Any Shoso babe watching me, I mean, they will be familiar with this song. I wish I could sing so good. Anyway, Nigeria, I might insert some of the comments I saw on social media. Some are pretty annoying, to be honest, and which I have addressed in this video. And the one comment that frequently reoccurred on social media that I did agree with is, many questioned, which I do agree with this comment. It reoccurred so many times. I'm going to leave some of the comments on the screen. Many questioned why our youth did not come out to protest and speak out against corrupt leaders, hill economy, Fulani herdsmen killing, Boko Haram, unemployment, bad road, bad health system, you know, bad education, deteriorated facilities, and many more economic woes. I do agree, and I did agree with that. I have I produced a video sometimes ago in which I talk about a particular pastor, and I did mention that because I think most times people are so quick to speak up about pastor, which is fine. Yes, you should speak about you should speak up about it, but what about the woes, our economy? I think we're not acting enough, we're not speaking up enough, even though a few days ago I did see some protests, which I am I'm happy about, but I think we need to do more. We're not doing that. We need to do more. I did mention this particular issue in one of my videos. I will insert the video up there somewhere. I will insert it there. It's very important that we also pay attention to the present government. I'm saying this because insecurity in Nigeria is at abysmal level. Is really, really bad. I think I'm sure some of you might have seen the video of this woman. I think that video was going viral on WhatsApp. If I see a clip, I will insert. That woman came from America with her children and her husband, and they were raped, they were kidnapped and raped, all of them, including a 9-year-old, by these Fulani headsmen. Or the husband was raped, the woman herself was raped, our children were raped, including a 9-year-old. I was like, I don't know what I felt when she was narrating her story. You cannot imagine the pain, the trauma that little girl will be going through, the flashbacks, the nightmares she'll be having. They will need to check those children into a rehabilitation center, because I don't know how they could, like, coming from America into a place like Nigeria and being raped in the bush, being tortured. That woman saw things she had never dreamed that she would see before in her life. Dead bodies, people being tied to the trees. And there have been so many more. Married women being kidnapped and raped. Farmers being killed on their farms. So I feel the same energy that's being channeled towards Pastor Abiodun Fatoyibo should also be channeled towards the government. It's very, very important. Or, I can't help but to think, because this is not the first time I'm talking about this, and each time I talk about it, it happens to be when a pastor does something. The way people rise up. I'm beginning to think, is it that our youth are taking their frustration out on these pastors, even though some of them do deserve it? Sorry, I'm not in a position to say that, but from what I've seen around me, some do deserve this reaction. But at the same time, I don't want it to be just about the pastor. I would like us to make our leaders accountable, to call them out. This social media is also the tool. I've said this all over and over again. This social media is a tool we can use. We, me and you, even though I don't live in Nigeria. But I am a patriotic Nigerian. I say this every time. So I'm very proud to be a Nigerian. I am very proud to be a Nigerian. So how do a society like Nigeria stop or manage a pastor that constantly pry on the young church members, you know, that's constantly out to violate them? How do we stop that in a society like Nigeria? That's another question that keeps coming into my head. Nobody is above the law. Any man, irregardless of your status, of your person, whether high up there, rich, poor, that should be found guilty of committing this offense called rape, should face the consequences, should be brought to justice. Even though most of these incidents had allegedly happened like many years ago, it's still no excuse not to prosecute offenders. They should face the justice. Nobody is above the law. No matter how long, justice can still prevail. It does not matter. Justice can still prevail. I am suggesting an independent kind of investigation should be carried out outside the Koza ministry. And I'm only saying that because you know how Nigeria is, or how Nigeria could be. Sorry, I have to say that, but let the truth be told. Telling it just the way it is. Even though there was a report in which I published on my blog that the president of Nigeria, Buhari, has ordered an investigation into Pastor Abiodun Fatoyibo's alleged crime. I so much wish that is true, but there's nothing impossible in Nigeria. His own people could put that out and we all publish it. So we all look away like, oh, the government have picked on it and might end up being swept under the carpet. So I I wasn't really like elated about it because I just thought, no, in Nigeria, and I know the way they manipulate the press, they manipulate what they put out there, so you look away from what you're supposed to be looking into. So, but I hope it's true, but I doubt, I doubt it so much that it is true, even though we all published it. So I just said I should put that out there. I mean, look at the case of that. Excuse me, guys. I guess you guys are used to it. Talking about drinking. I'm drinking this for the very first time. This brand. I like iced coffee. This is really cold, really chilled because the UK weather is really hot right now. And I walk into Tesco's and I saw this Bailey's iced coffee and I said I would try. I love it so much. It's really, really nice. I'm not sure if it's new, but this iced coffee latte by Bailey's, this brand, I'm seeing it for the first time and I love it. Very nice. In fact, I just did an advert for Bailey's. They should pay me. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Look at the case of that American actor, comedian, and Bill Cosby. Numerous women came out, many women came out to accuse him of sexual assault, child abuse, molestation, drug facilitated sexual abuse, name it, after so many years. When I say so many years, I'm talking about over 20, 30, 40, even 50 years. Some are grandma, 40 years, yeah. So, this talk about how can they prove it is too long, blah, 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 is bull. There are ways in which the American government or the British government are able to establish that you did commit the offense. So, and I think the Nigerian government or the Nigerian judiciary, I think the Nigerian judiciary are capable, more than capable, if we want to. Although I must agree to some extent that after so many years, it is difficult to prove that the accused did commit the offense. But in the case of Bill Cosby, the number of women ranging from different ages that came out or that appeared in court to witness against Bill Cosby is overwhelming. Some of the charges were dropped because they couldn't prove them, but some of them they were able to hold on to and prove. The witnesses were able to convince the jury and the judges beyond reasonable doubt that Bill Cosby did commit the offense. The same can be done if indeed Pastor Abiodun Fatoyibo committed the offense. I have to keep saying if because I was not there. I have the same benefit of the doubt I will give Pastor Abiodun Fatoyibo. It's the same I will give Bisola. But I have my reservation and I stand behind every rape victim. Bill Cosby, the American actor and comedian, was found guilty of 3 counts of assault in 2018. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. I mean, was it 7 to 10 years in prison? Something like that. In prison. And he was fined $25,000 for prosecution costs. So nothing is impossible. After so many years, these women will not stop. They keep coming out. They keep coming out until Bill Cosby was prosecuted. And that is the way it should be. Please Don't silence the people that are about or that are still thinking about it. Let them come out. Honors. The honors and titles previously awarded to Bill Cosby were revoked, all revoked. I mean, after the prosecution, they were all revoked. So actions can be taken. I'm only emphasizing and using Bill Cosby as an example of somebody who assaulted or raped his victim many years ago and was still brought to face justice. So guys, sorry, join me. So guys, I enjoy talking to you guys. And I think I have been talking for so long. If you watch this video to this stage, God bless you. And if you don't, God still blesses you. I think I will end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please, 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 please. I'm not posting. I'm not forming more de shako. If you don't understand that language, Google it. Please subscribe. Subscribe. I would like you to subscribe. Encourage me to do more. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Stay blessed. Ta-ra!